Hey guys, good morning. Had to jump on here due to learning about the Astro World tragedy. And I just had to say a few things. Just because I was a festival goer, I went to so many festivals at a young age, up until 20s, upper 20s. Maybe I went to my last festival when I was about 30. I can't really remember. I've been to Bonnaroo, Camp Bisco, all good, things like that. And I'm going to let you know that this one time I was at Camp Bisco and it was almost like hell. I had went to a Camp Bisco in 2007. It was a completely different experience. Very wholesome crowd. There were drugs, but it wasn't out of control. And years later, I went to Camp Bisco when I was age 25. 25. And I kid you not, I heard an ambulance coming up to that festival every 5 to 10 minutes. The EDMs and everything. And so I remember sitting there and I was by myself. I don't remember what I was seeing. It might have been Zed's Dead. I actually think it was. And there were two young girls, probably about 19, sitting there, talking. They were very beautiful. I smiled at them, said, "Have a good time." Shortly, as I walked past them and smiled, said, "Hi," something in my heart told me to stop. And I did. And I looked back behind and the two girls raised up. One girl went out and her head hit a trash can and she seizured. It obviously a drug she had taken, affected her at that moment. And I literally ran to her and her friend was screaming for help. And I ran to the Hells Angels. Usually they were in charge of Camp Bisco. I don't know if they are anymore. And I said, "I need help. I need help. Somebody help me." And the Hells Angels would push me away. And they were so used to people ODing that weekend that nobody even really cared to help. And I found one man that I had met in the beginning because I was working that festival. And I looked at him. I said, "I need help. I need an ambulance." And he called an ambulance. And she got wheeled away and I did not leave. And I ran back to that man, or that man found me, and he said, "I want to let you know, thank you so much for what you were so lucky you were there. That girl wouldn't have made it. She's in the hospital and she's doing all right." Let me tell you, now it's 2021, and I'm hearing about 11 people dying in a crowd suffocating. The crowd? Why would they even allow that much people in a crowd with COVID going on to begin with? And second of all, how is it getting to this point where people are so selfish that they're literally in a crowd and they're suffocating people? And they said 11 people died, maybe more than that. Look, guys, if you have kids, you need to be very careful what music they listen to. It's really hard because they go to school and every family is different, and whatever they play on the radio they think is cool and popular. But let me tell you, when your kids are old enough and they go to things like Astro World, just to let you know, the first reported case was a 14-year-old boy who died while Travis Scott was playing. Look, this is serious. You need to be careful what your kids listen to. I'm not saying shelter them completely, but I'm just saying that whatever goes into their mind becomes a spiritual thing. Yeah, I'm going to use spiritual because the music that comes out these days is just crap, and it's so sad to hear things about what happened at that festival. And, it's something that's actually really common. Tomorrowland, those EDM festivals, drugs have taken over completely. So you have kids, you need not to shelter them, but to be very careful. Let her share. Be careful who you allow your kids to listen to. It is a dinosaur. This is very serious. This is where we're headed. And if you were a festival goer just like I was, and you saw things like I just said about Camp Bisco, think about how much worse it is now and how much it will be years from now. Seriously. Be careful what you let your kids listen to. A 14-year-old boy, first reported case, died. Why would a parent ever allow their child to be in a crowd like that? It is their personal decision. It is their choice. But guess what? That 14-year-old boy is no longer living anymore. So I'm just going to leave it like this. I've done drugs, and I've done my fair share of things, but it's much worse now, and it's happening at a younger age. And I bet you a lot of those people in that crowd were drunk or on drugs. Seriously. And because of that, people are no longer living at a festival. So it makes me think what the other festivals are going to be like years from now. Because Camp Bisco was my jam. I went in 2006, 2007. It was the best festival ever. It was nothing like it was until I went years later when I saw the one girl OD. So I'm just leaving this video here because if you are a parent, be very careful what you allow your kids to listen to. And that includes other artists, because I know kids think some of these songs are cool. So just something to think about. Not trying to be intense. I'm just trying to speak my mind because I was a festival goer. I was a drug addict, and I used to be in that crowd on drugs. And I have seen some very, very interesting things, scary things at festivals. I've never, ever in my life seen anyone die. So I cannot imagine what the families are feeling right now. And I'm going to take the time to pray for those families this week. And if you pray too, maybe keep them in your prayers, because that is terrible. And I'm going to leave it like that. Hopefully y'all listen to this. It's a very powerful message. Be careful what you let your kids listen to. Have a good one.